Most people spend their lives trying to control things they cannot influence: traffic, the weather, other people's opinions. And in doing so, they forget the truth. The fastest way to change your life is not by controlling the uncontrollable, but by mastering what is already within your reach. When you take command of these 5 things, life doesn't just improve, it transforms instantly. The first is your attitude. Every day you wake up with a choice to face the day as a victim or as a creator. Your attitude shapes how you see the world and, more importantly, how the world responds to you. Imagine 2 people experiencing the same setback. One sees it as a dead end, the other sees it as a detour. The difference isn't luck, resources, or intelligence, it's perspective. If you decide in advance to bring a constructive, solution-oriented mindset to challenges, you'll notice doors opening where before there were only walls. The second is your words. Words are seeds. The things you speak about yourself and to others take root in your mind and in theirs. When you constantly speak in terms of what's wrong, what's missing, or what's impossible, you reinforce those realities. But when your words reflect possibility, gratitude, and belief, you prime your brain to look for solutions. That's not wishful thinking, it's neuroscience. Your vocabulary is either a cage or a key. Choose the key. Third is your time. Time is the most democratic resource on earth. Everyone gets the same 24 hours, yet how you use those hours will determine the quality of your life more than almost anything else. The question isn't, do I have enough time? But am I spending it on what truly matters? Scrolling endlessly through social media may give temporary relief, but investing those same minutes in learning, connecting, or creating something will build a future worth living. Control your time, and you control the pace and direction of your growth. Fourth is your focus. Focus determines reality. Whatever you give your attention to grows stronger. When you focus on problems, they multiply. When you focus on solutions, they expand. In a noisy world full of distractions, focus has become a superpower. It's not about doing more. It's about directing your mental energy towards fewer, better things. When you decide where your attention goes, you decide what kind of life you live. Finally, the fifth is your reactions. Life will throw challenges at you: unfair bosses, unexpected bills, people who don't play by the rules. You can't control all of that, but you can control how you respond. Reactions are where your character is tested. The pause you take before responding, the breath you take before speaking, can change the outcome of an entire situation. You don't have to match the chaos around you. You can be the calm in the storm. When you control these 5 things, your attitude, your words, your time, your focus, and your reactions, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You become the driver. And once you're in the driver's seat, the road ahead doesn't just look different. It becomes yours to choose. For keynotes of the speech, your attitude shapes your reality and influences how the world responds to you. Your words are powerful tools that either limit you or unlock possibilities. Time is a non-renewable resource that must be invested in meaningful pursuits. Focus is a superpower in a distracted world. What you give attention to will grow. Your reactions define your character and can change the outcome of any situation. Your attitude is the unseen force that shapes the entire experience of your life. It is not just a fleeting emotion or a simple mood. It is the lens through which you interpret every situation, every interaction, and every challenge. The power of attitude lies in its ability to transform the same event into vastly different realities, depending on how you choose to perceive it. Imagine waking up one morning and encountering a problem at work. One person sees this as a crushing obstacle, a sign that everything is going wrong, while another sees it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and adapt. The problem itself hasn't changed, but the interpretation, the attitude, makes all the difference. This transformative effect of attitude is not a matter of blind optimism or forced positivity. It is a deliberate choice to approach life's uncertainties with curiosity and resilience rather than fear and frustration. When you consciously cultivate a positive, solution-oriented attitude, you begin to retrain your brain to look for possibilities instead of pitfalls. This rewiring of your mental habits changes how you react to situations, the kinds of decisions you make, and ultimately the trajectory of your life. It is not the external circumstances that control your destiny, but your internal response powered by your attitude. Attitude is contagious too. When you carry a constructive and hopeful mindset, you naturally attract people who share that energy. Conversely, a negative or defeatist attitude tends to isolate you, creating barriers where connections could be made. This ripple effect shows that attitude isn't just a personal tool. It shapes your social environment as well. The relationships you build, the opportunities that come your way, and the support systems you develop are all influenced by the energy you bring into your daily interactions. What makes attitude even more remarkable is its accessibility. Unlike external factors such as your job, your income, or even your health, attitude is something entirely within your control. You don't need permission, money, or circumstances to change it. It requires awareness and practice. But no one can take away your ability to choose how you face each day. This is empowering because it places the key to transformation firmly in your hands. Regardless of what is happening around you, you have the ability to reset your mindset and influence the outcome. Scientific studies support the idea that attitude shapes not only your experience, but also your physiological health and well-being. Research has shown that people with a positive attitude tend to have stronger immune systems, lower stress levels, and better overall health. This connection between mind and body highlights that attitude is not just a mental state, It has tangible effects on your physical life. When you approach challenges with hope rather than despair, your body responds with greater resilience, allowing you to endure hardships more effectively. The power of attitude becomes especially clear in times of crisis or uncertainty. When everything feels out of control, your attitude is the one thing you can anchor yourself to. It serves as a compass, guiding you through turbulent waters. Those who emerge from difficult times stronger are often those who maintained a mindset that welcomed growth and learning rather than succumbing to hopelessness. The ability to view setbacks as temporary and surmountable is a hallmark of a strong attitude. It is this outlook that enables people to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Developing a positive attitude does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that problems don't exist. It means acknowledging the situation but refusing to let it define you. It means choosing to focus on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. This distinction is crucial because it prevents the paralysis that often comes from feeling overwhelmed. A strong attitude channels energy into constructive action rather than rumination and self-doubt. Attitude also influences your ability to learn from failure. When your mindset views failure as a final verdict, you stop trying and close doors. But when your attitude embraces failure as feedback, a necessary step in growth, you open yourself up to continuous improvement. This perspective transforms every misstep into a lesson, every setback into a stepping stone. It builds resilience and adaptability, qualities that are essential in a world that is constantly changing. The stories of people who have transformed their lives often share one common thread: a shift in attitude. They did not necessarily start with better resources or luck. What set them apart was how they chose to respond to their circumstances. They decided to see challenges as opportunities and possibilities rather than threats. This shift created momentum that propelled them forward, creating new habits, new opportunities, and ultimately new realities. Attitude is like the rudder of a ship. It might be small compared to the vast ocean, but it determines the direction of the entire journey. Every choice you make about your attitude steers your life towards either stagnation or growth. It affects your motivation, your relationships, and your ability to overcome obstacles. By mastering your attitude, you tap into a source of power that is both immediate and enduring, one that no external circumstance can diminish. In essence, controlling your attitude is the first and most essential step toward transforming your life. It is the foundation upon which all other changes are built. When you understand this and commit to nurturing a mindset that is positive, resilient, and growth-oriented, you set yourself on a path where transformation is not just possible, but inevitable. Your attitude shapes your reality every moment. Choose it wisely. The words you choose to speak, both to yourself and to others, hold immense power over the reality you experience. Words are far more than mere sounds or symbols. They are the seeds planted in the garden of your mind and the minds of those around you. Every time you speak, you either nourish positive growth or cultivate limiting beliefs and negativity. The way you express yourself, the vocabulary you use, and the tone you adopt shape not only your mindset, but also the opportunities and relationships that unfold in your life. Understanding this gives you the ability to harness words as a powerful tool for transformation. When you consistently speak negatively, focusing on what's wrong, what you lack, or what cannot be done, you begin to program your brain to see the world through a lens of scarcity and limitation. This negative internal dialogue creates mental barriers that block your ability to see potential paths forward. It trains your mind to be vigilant for problems rather than solutions, for obstacles rather than opportunities. Over time, this creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where your expectations shape your reality, and those realities confirm your negative beliefs. It's not magic, it's how the brain's pattern recognition and neuroplasticity work. Conversely, when you choose to speak words that affirm possibility, gratitude, and resilience, you change the neurological pathways in your brain. Positive language encourages your mind to scan for good outcomes, to consider new ideas, and to embrace challenges as chances to grow. This shift in language is not superficial or forced optimism, but a strategic approach to rewiring your mental habits. The words you use become a foundation for how you think, feel, and act. When your language is filled with hope and belief, you become more motivated to pursue goals and to persist through setbacks. The impact of your words goes beyond your internal world. They ripple outward and shape your relationships. The way you communicate with others can build bridges or walls. Words of encouragement, kindness, and appreciation nurture trust and cooperation. When you choose to speak respectfully and constructively, you invite others to do the same. On the other hand, harsh, judgmental, or negative language often breeds defensiveness and conflict. Communication is a two-way street, and the tone you set influences how others respond to you. In this way, your choice of words can either expand your support network or isolate you. Words also play a crucial role in shaping your identity. The stories you tell about yourself become the narrative you live by. If you constantly describe yourself as not good enough or always unlucky, your brain starts to accept these statements as truths. This limits your capacity to take risks or pursue opportunities. However, if you consistently affirm your strengths, potential, and capacity for growth, you create a powerful internal narrative that supports your ambitions. This is why affirmations, when used sincerely and regularly, can be effective, not because repeating words alone changes reality, but because they reshape the way you view yourself and the possibilities before you. In addition to spoken words, The language you use in your inner dialogue is equally important. Self-talk happens constantly, often unnoticed, and it sets the tone for your emotional state. Negative self-talk drains your confidence and fuels anxiety, while positive self-talk builds resilience and courage. Learning to recognize and shift negative self-talk is a crucial step in mastering your mindset. It requires awareness and practice, but it empowers you to choose thoughts that serve your goals rather than sabotage them. Science backs this connection between language and brain function. Studies have shown that using positive and empowering language activates brain regions associated with motivation and reward, while negative language triggers stress responses. This means your words literally influence your chemistry and emotional well-being. Knowing this can motivate you to be intentional about your communication, not only for the sake of others, but for your own mental health. Furthermore, the habit of speaking with intention transforms your interactions and decisions. When you are mindful of your words, you naturally become more deliberate in your actions. You pause before reacting, choose responses that reflect your values, and clarify your intentions. This mindfulness reduces misunderstandings and increases your effectiveness in both personal and professional settings. It also sets a standard for how you want to be treated, reinforcing respect and integrity in your relationships. The importance of words becomes even clearer when you consider how they affect your mindset in times of stress or adversity. During challenging moments, it's easy to fall into patterns of complaint, blame, or despair. However, consciously choosing words that reflect hope, solutions, and learning can shift your perspective. For example, replacing "I can't do this" with "I haven't figured this out yet" changes your brain's response from defeat to curiosity. This subtle shift in language opens new pathways for problem solving and resilience. Words can also be used to inspire and lead both yourself and others. The language of vision, purpose, and possibility motivates people to move beyond their comfort zones. Leaders who master the art of communication understand that words create cultures and drive change. Whether you are leading a team or simply leading yourself, the words you choose to emphasize determine the energy and direction of your journey. In essence, controlling your words means controlling the narrative of your life. It means taking responsibility for the stories you tell and choosing to tell stories that empower rather than limit. It means understanding that your language shapes your reality in profound ways and using that knowledge to create a life aligned with your highest potential. When you master this, you no longer leave your future to chance or to the voices of doubt. You speak it into existence with clarity and purpose. Time is the most precious resource anyone can have because it is completely finite and irreplaceable. Every single person on this planet is gifted the exact same 24 hours in a day, no more, no less. Yet, what separates those who feel fulfilled, successful, and empowered from those who feel stuck, overwhelmed, or regretful is not the quantity of time, but how they choose to use it. Controlling your time is one of the most profound ways to transform your life because once you master this, you start to direct your energy toward what truly matters and let go of distractions and activities that drain you. Many people fall into the trap of thinking they don't have enough time. They rush from task to task, overwhelmed by their to-do lists, never really pausing to ask themselves what is worth their time and what is simply filling space. This feeling of scarcity about time comes not from the actual hours available, but from a lack of intentionality. When you live reactively, responding to emails, notifications, and demands from others without a clear plan, you end up spending your time on what others want from you rather than what you want for yourself. This kind of living creates stress and leaves you feeling powerless. But when you gain control of your time, you shift from being a passenger to the driver of your day. You begin to see that time as not just minutes ticking away, but an asset to be invested thoughtfully. Every hour, every moment can be dedicated to activities that align with your priorities and values. This clarity brings calm and confidence because you know you're making progress on what truly matters, whether it's your health, your relationships, your learning, or your passions. It's important to recognize that controlling your time doesn't mean filling every second with productivity or work. It means managing your time in a way that supports your goals and well-being. This could mean scheduling breaks, time for rest, and moments of joy as deliberately as you schedule meetings or projects. When you respect your time this way, you create balance and prevent burnout. One of the most effective ways to take control of your time is by setting clear priorities. Knowing what is non-negotiable and what can be deferred or delegated is essential. Without priorities, every task feels urgent, and you end up scattered, unable to focus deeply on any one thing. But when you identify your key goals and values, you can allocate your time with purpose. This also means learning to say no, something many people struggle with because they fear missing out or disappointing others. Saying no to distractions or less important requests is a powerful act of self-respect and self-control that protects your time and energy for what matters most. Another essential element of time control is minimizing distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Smartphones, social media, constant notifications, emails, and even well-meaning colleagues or family members. These interruptions fracture your attention and reduce the quality of the time you spend on important tasks. Learning to create focused blocks of time, sometimes called deep work, where you eliminate or limit distractions, can exponentially increase your productivity and sense of accomplishment. It's not about working harder, but but about working smarter and with greater intention. Controlling your time also means understanding how you personally work best. Some people are most alert and creative in the morning, others in the afternoon or evening. By tuning into your natural rhythms and scheduling your most important work or decisions during those peak times, you honor your body and mind's needs. This self-awareness allows you to be more efficient and reduces wasted effort. One of the biggest benefits of controlling your time is the ability to create space for growth and learning. Too often, people claim they want to improve their skills or pursue new passions, but say they don't have time. When you intentionally carve out time, even if it's just 15 or 30 minutes a day for reading, practicing, or reflecting, you invest in your future. This consistent, incremental effort leads to transformation that compounds over time. Time control also improves your relationships. When you are mindful about how you spend your time, you can dedicate meaningful moments to the people who matter most. This presence builds deeper connections and enriches your life in ways that work or possessions cannot. Conversely, when your time is fragmented or dominated by distractions, relationships suffer. Lastly, controlling your time empowers you to live with intention. It allows you to create a life that reflects your deepest values rather than one dictated by external pressures or habits. This sense of control boosts your confidence and resilience because even when challenges arise, you know you are steering your life with purpose. In summary, mastering your time is not just about managing hours or being productive. It's about reclaiming your power to choose how your life unfolds. When you make the conscious decision to control your time, you open the door to transformation that touches every part of your existence, from your achievements to your happiness and sense of fulfillment. The way you use your time today shapes the life you will live tomorrow. Focus is the invisible force that determines what grows in your life and what withers away. It is the lens through which your mind filters the constant barrage of information, distractions, and choices that come your way every single day. In an age where attention is the most valuable currency, mastering your focus is not just a productivity hack. It is a fundamental skill that shapes your reality. What you choose to focus on expands and what you ignore diminishes. This simple yet profound truth means that controlling your focus can instantly transform your life. When your focus is scattered, your energy is diluted. Multitasking, jumping from one task to another, or allowing your attention to be pulled by endless notifications prevents you from diving deeply into anything meaningful. The result is frustration, unfinished projects, and a sense of being busy but not productive. This kind of fragmented attention also fuels stress because your brain is constantly switching gears, trying to keep up with demands but never settling long enough to create flow or mastery. On the other hand, when you intentionally direct your focus on a few important priorities, you create momentum. Focus is like a spotlight. It illuminates what you are paying attention to and helps you see possibilities and solutions more clearly. It allows you to enter a state of flow where you are fully immersed in the task, your skills and challenges are balanced, and time seems to disappear. This state of deep concentration is where true creativity and productivity happen. The more you cultivate your ability to focus, the more you will experience the state and the more you will accomplish. The challenge in today's world is that distractions are everywhere. Smartphones buzz with notifications. Emails flood your inbox, social media demands your attention, and even your own thoughts can wander endlessly. This constant noise hijacks your focus and trains your brain to crave short bursts of stimulation rather than sustained attention. Breaking free from this cycle requires conscious effort and new habits. One of the first steps to mastering focus is recognizing its value. When you understand that your attention shapes your reality, you become more protective of it. This might mean creating boundaries around your time, such as turning off notifications during work or setting aside dedicated periods for uninterrupted focus. It can also mean designing your environment to reduce distractions, closing unnecessary tabs on your computer, working in a quiet space, or using tools like timers to create focused work intervals. Focus is not just about eliminating distractions, it's about directing your mental energy intentionally. This means choosing what to focus on based on your goals and values rather than reacting to whatever grabs your attention. It requires clarity about your priorities and a willingness to say no to less important tasks or requests. When you focus on what truly matters, your efforts are amplified and your progress accelerates. Another important aspect of focus is managing your energy, not just your time. Your ability to concentrate fluctuates throughout the day based on your physical, emotional, and mental state. Recognizing when you are most alert and scheduling your most demanding or creative tasks during these peak times can greatly enhance your focus. Similarly, taking breaks to recharge, practicing mindfulness, and getting enough sleep supports sustained attention. Focus also plays a crucial role in managing your thoughts and emotions. Your mind naturally wanders, and without training, it often drifts toward worries, distractions, or negative patterns. Learning to gently bring your attention back to the present moment builds mental resilience and reduces stress. Practices such as meditation or mindful breathing can strengthen this skill, making it easier to maintain focus in daily life. The power of focus extends beyond work or productivity. It shapes how you experience life itself. When your attention is on your relationships, you are truly present with others, deepening connections and empathy. When your focus is on your health, you make better choices that support your well-being. Even your mindset is influenced by focus. Focusing on gratitude, strengths, and solutions cultivates positivity and growth. In essence, Focus is a choice you make moment by moment. You cannot control all the distractions around you, but you can control what you give your attention to. This choice determines what kind of person you become and what kind of life you live. When you learn to harness your focus, you are no longer tossed around by every impulse or external demand. You become the architect of your reality. Focus magnifies your impact, clarifies your purpose, and fuels your progress in ways that no amount of effort or time alone can match. Ultimately, controlling your focus means choosing your reality. It's about investing your attention in what enriches your life and letting go of what diminishes it. This mastery of focus is a powerful lever for transformation, unlocking potential that lies dormant when attention is fragmented. By cultivating deep, intentional focus, you open the door to creativity, productivity, and fulfillment that ripple through every aspect of your life. Your reactions are the single greatest point of control you have over your life. Even when everything else seems out of your hands, life is unpredictable and often unfair, and challenges will arise no matter how prepared you are. People will disappoint you, situations will frustrate you, and setbacks will test your resolve. But in the midst of this chaos, your reaction is a choice, a moment where you decide who you will be and how you will move forward. This ability to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively is the cornerstone of emotional intelligence and personal transformation. The power of controlling your reactions lies in the space between stimulus and response. It's often said that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This gap between event and reaction is where your character is forged. When you develop the habit of taking a breath, stepping back mentally, and choosing your response consciously, you reclaim your power from circumstances. Instead of being swept away by emotions like anger, fear, or frustration, you become the calm center in the storm. One of the reasons reactions have such a profound impact is that they shape the trajectory of situations. A negative reactive response can escalate conflict, damage relationships, and close doors. Conversely, a measured, thoughtful reaction can diffuse tension, build bridges, and create opportunities for understanding and growth. The same event can lead to vastly different outcomes depending on how you respond. This is why mastering your reactions is not just about emotional control, but about influencing the external world in a positive way. Developing control over your reactions requires awareness and practice. The first step is recognizing your triggers, those specific people, situations, or thoughts that consistently provoke strong emotional responses. Awareness allows you to anticipate moments when your reaction might be automatic and unhelpful. With this insight, you can prepare yourself to pause and choose a different path. This might mean counting to 10, taking deep breaths, or simply delaying your response until you feel more centered. Another key to mastering reactions is reframing the meaning of difficult situations. Often our initial emotional response is tied to our interpretation of an event. If you see criticism as a personal attack, you're likely to react defensively or angrily. But if you reframe it as constructive feedback or an opportunity to learn, your response shifts dramatically. This shift in perspective transforms challenges into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Over time, this reframing becomes a natural habit, making your reactions more measured and productive. The ability to control your reactions also strengthens your resilience. Life's challenges are inevitable, but they become less overwhelming when you don't allow your emotions to control you. Instead of being a victim of circumstance, you become a master of your emotional landscape. This resilience not only helps you endure tough times, but also enables you to bounce back stronger. It fosters a growth mindset where setbacks are viewed as temporary and solvable rather than permanent and crushing. Moreover, controlling your reactions enhances your relationships. When you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, you communicate respect and maturity. This creates a safe space for honest dialogue and mutual understanding. People feel heard and valued when you listen with intention and respond calmly, even in difficult conversations. Over time, this builds trust and deepens connections, both personally and professionally. Your reactions also influence how others perceive you. When you consistently demonstrate emotional control and grace under pressure, you gain respect and credibility. Leaders who can manage their reactions inspire confidence and motivate others to do the same. This influence can open doors, create collaboration, and foster environments where people feel supported and empowered. Learning to control your reactions does not mean suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means acknowledging your feelings without letting them dictate your behavior. It's about emotional regulation rather than emotional avoidance. You allow yourself to feel anger, disappointment, or fear, but you choose how to express those emotions in ways that serve your goals and relationships. This skill grows stronger with intentional practices like mindfulness, meditation, and reflection. These practices help you become more present and aware of your internal state. They build the mental muscles needed to step back from automatic reactions and choose your responses thoughtfully. Over time, you develop a habit of responding rather than reacting, which transforms how you experience life's ups and downs. In essence, mastering your reactions is mastering yourself. It is the difference between being tossed around by life's storms and standing firm in your center. It empowers you to face challenges with calm, make decisions with clarity, and interact with others with empathy and respect. When you control your reactions, you take responsibility for your experience and open the door to profound personal transformation. When you take control of these 5 fundamental areas, your attitude, your words, your time, your focus, and your reactions, you unlock a powerful source of transformation that is entirely within your reach. Life will always present challenges, distractions, and unexpected twists, but your mastery over these internal elements determines how you navigate them. This control shifts you from being a passive observer to an active creator of your reality. It empowers you to build a life defined not by circumstance, but by intention and resilience. The moment you choose to own these aspects of yourself, you don't just improve your life, you transform it instantly and profoundly.